In this video, we are going to learn about recursive functions. PHP also supports recursive function call like C and C++. In such cases, we call current function within the same function. It is also known as recursion. Usually what happens is, first we create the function definition and then we call that function anywhere we want. But in recursion, while creating the function definition, we are calling the function inside that same function. So that is known as recursion. It is recommended to avoid recursive function call over 200 recursion level because it may smash the stack and may cause the termination of script. So it is usually advisable not to go for a recursion when we want our function to be repeated more than 200 number of times, because in such a case our stack might smash and may cause the termination of script. Let's now see the example. So this is our function definition. Here I am creating a function called display and we are taking one argument called number. Now inside this we have an if statement. If my number is less than equal to 5, okay, means I will be passing a number while calling this function, which will be stored inside this variable called number. Now if this number is less than equal to 5, then we will simply echo out this number, and here we are calling the function. So means inside this function definition, we are calling the same function. And here what is happening is, while calling the function, I'm incrementing this number plus 1, because see, if we don't increment this number, this would go in an infinite loop, and this recursive call may go over 200 number of times, which may result in termination of our script. So that's why we are just incrementing this number, because see, it is logical, right? See, when I pass 1, this 1 will be stored inside this variable called number. Okay, now number is less than equal to 5. Our condition is satisfied because here 1 is less than equal to 5. So we will print out echo, and we are then calling this function again, and inside which, if I don't increment this function, if I simply pass number, then the condition would remain the same. The number will be 1 for all the cases, and hence this condition will always be true, so this would go in an infinite loop. So to avoid this, we are just incrementing the number so that our code would be executed 5 number of times, because here my condition is less than equal to 5. So as soon as it crosses 5, this condition will become false, and hence it will come out of the loop. So usually we go for recursion when we want our function to be repeated, let's say some number of times, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20. It depends. Here I want my function to be repeated 5 number of times, as I wanted to display numbers from 1 to 5. Uh, if I want to display 10 numbers, then I want my function to be repeated 10 number of. Okay, so let's see this in an IDE. We will go to Visual Studio Code. Now here PHP tags. Here I will be creating one function display. If condition, if my $number means this variable is less than equal to 5, then I will echo out this number. Then we will call this function here itself. and here we will call this function. Okay, we'll pass one value. So firstly, what would happen is our execution will come at this line. It will see, okay, we are calling out this function and we have passed a value 1. So it will go to its function definition. So it will go to this part. Here, 1 will be stored inside this variable number. Then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it will echo out this number and this function will again be called. Okay, so here recursion is taking place. Okay, so number is incremented and at the same time I'm calling out the same function. Okay, so let's see what output do we get. We'll just go to our browser and here I'll type localhost slash name of the folder is programming and then file name is first dot. So as we can see 1 to 5 has been printed onto the screen. And one more thing, before running the program, make sure the XAMPP Apache server is started. If it is not started, you won't be able to see the output. So in this case, we are able to see 1 to 5 onto the screen. Let's say if I change the condition and make it less than equal to 10, so then we will get to see 10 numbers, 1 to 10. Okay. So everything is working perfectly. So recursions work like loops only, as in loops. Even loops are used to repeat some lines of code again and again. So same way, if I want my function to be repeated some number of times, then I can go for recursion. So this was all about recursion in this video. Thank you.